Hi, Jen. Now, I see you in the comment sections, but it's showing that no one's here with me. Welcome, everyone, to Cup2Hook Movie Night, Season 5, Episodes 9 and 10 of Longmire. And thank you to everyone who is joining us. Thank you for your patience. Also, for me to get a little bit more comfortable and get those shoes off. Jen says, I'm ready to fall asleep on everyone, and a snoring emoji. I hear you. Oh my gosh. I know. I told my husband as I was getting some PJs on, which I'm all wrinkled. But anyway, who cares? I'm comfortable. That's all that matters. We're going to sleep so well tonight. Oh my goodness. Or I'm going to give it a moment for everyone to come on. I've been thinking about you a lot. So I just want you to know that. You have definitely been in my thoughts. Oh my gosh. Jen says, I hope so. Yes, you have been. I have thought about you a lot and about, the things that we've been sharing together. And did you ever get your little happy place set up? That's all I'm going to say about our conversation, but I have to sometimes rethink my little Zen spot here lately because I don't always have access to all of my happy places. So I have to kind of not renovate, not reconstruct, think outside the box. Not yet, still working a lot. I imagine so with those hours you just shared with me. And then again, for people who don't drive long distances, it's amazing how much it takes out of you. It's not as easy as it looks. So but I guess too we are thankful for jobs, right? Oh, you said my job changed for a week and you hated it. In what way did it change? Excuse me. I'm going to eat a little bit while we're kind of chit-chatting and waiting to see if anyone else comes and joins us. They may think we weren't coming together tonight because I'm so late getting on. I suppose that's right. Well, hopefully those changes that you didn't like were just for that 1 week. And I'll understand if they're not anything you can say here. But you can always call me. Welcome in, those that are coming in. So happy to have you. So happy to be back. So happy to be talking about Longmire again. Oh my gosh. When I realized early on in the week, it dawned on me that it was Good Friday. And I wanted to get that video out sooner, but I struggled last week to stay awake at any given point in time. So, but I'm glad I finally was able to get that video out. And Oh my gosh, it's been hard sitting on these episodes though for so long. Oh, Mare, no notice again. Well, I'm glad you're here, love. Yeah, I'm going to take Petra's advice and reach out to YouTube this week and see what's going on, why my notifications aren't going out, why I'm not receiving them. I had to go to a different department. I was basically a back and call girl and a gopher. I am so sorry. I already know some mm, of the other job, your regular job, but that's awful. Could be called at any time between 7:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. I'm so sorry. I hope it won't bother y'all if I eat while we're doing this. If it's rude, tell me and I'll understand and I'll eat afterwards. Jen says I don't see anyone's comments. Um, well, right now, all of the comments have been you, with the exception of one. Mayor came on and said, "No notice again." And then you said, "Yes, I'm on live chat." Hmm. Okay. You said there, I have hers now. Okay, good, good, good. Todd, I'm just letting you know I have to turn the heater on in here a little bit. It's a little bit cold to me. Oh my goodness. Well, I know that Grandma Anna got her COVID shot yesterday, and she said she may or may not join us. It all depends on how she feels. But oh, the season is over, and oh my goodness. I'm not going to lie to you. And I rewatched them. Jen says she is so sweet. She is. She really is. And she gives the best virtual hugs ever, hands down. And oh, I'm so thankful that Todd and I are not going anywhere tomorrow, because I will definitely be watching episodes 1 and 2 of season 6. Aw, you said she put your name in on V's live. Okay, Jim. So if you will, help me out for just a minute while we're waiting to see if, everyone comes on. I was going to try and find Veronica's or V's email and email her. So explain to me again how her game works, because I truly am going to try to be there Sunday. Oh my gosh. How am I supposed to eat these hot dogs? Todd,
Yeah.
are these my hot dogs or yours?
Yours.
Oh, I thought mine were going to have mustard, coleslaw, and relish.
Yes, I do.
Nope, they have coleslaw, mustard, and sauerkraut.
Oh.
That's fine. If you can just bring me the relish, I can add relish. Okay. Pick 6 numbers between 1 and 60 and email them to her. Okay. And they have to be emailed in by when? Six p.m. Sunday. Thank you, Mayor. So, and her show starts at 6:30. Is that correct? Thank you. Ooh, that's a big bottle of relish. Oh my goodness. I see tuna fish sandwiches in our future. All right. Then you have to watch the game to be a winner. Then you have to watch the game to be a winner. Email, Facebook, or Instagram. Okay. Starts at 6, game at 6:30. Oh my gosh, though that keeps her busy at the last minute though if we have until 6 p.m. to email those in. Sort of. There is a lot of chat before, okay? You have to be there the whole time, okay? So, and how long does it usually last? I'm gonna feel like a piggy eating in front of y'all. Eight p.m.-ish. Okay. 2 hours. Okay. All right. Now, the numbers that we send in, and we send in 6. Okay. What do they represent? Like I'm sorry. I wanted to ask her this while I had her, but we were already going over into Cup2Hook movie night, and I really don't like being late to things. Like that's a pet peeve of mine. And I don't want it to be a habit, and it has been lately. You can change your numbers each week, okay? What do the numbers do so that I know better how to pick them? All right. Numbers represent your favorite numbers, okay? Think of them like lotto numbers. Oh, okay. Or numbers out of a hat, okay? Uh, so see, when I thought she was saying blingo, I thought it was kind of like I thought it was like playing. I just assumed because I haven't seen it yet that it was like playing bingo. So what does she do with the numbers? Because when she said something to me before about sending numbers in, I thought that was something different. So we're not actually playing bingo. Bingo-ish. Okay. If all 6 of yours are called, you type in blingo and you win. Oh, wow. She has dice in a bag that she pulls. How cool. Veronica. Hey, my friend. So, Jen and Mare are educating me on your 6 o'clock show on Sundays because I was a little confused because I thought the numbers were something separate. And I thought, we played bingo. So I'm getting educated. So, how cool, cool, cool. You have to watch your numbers yourself because she misses some sometimes. Well, you think? Well, that sounded kind of rude. I am so sorry, Jen. I didn't mean it like that, meaning like there's so many people, and if each person is sending in 6 numbers, first off, Veronica, the fact that you give everybody till 6 p.m. on Sunday to get their numbers in, that is tremendous because that's like literally as your show is starting. And wow, you are definitely amazing. And she's like, yeah. Well, I guess my blind friends would not have understood what I just did. So Veronica says, yeah. And she's got this little emoji, which is absolutely adorable. I have never seen this emoji before. And it's kind of like this little kind of sunshiny, marshmallowy guy. And he's kind of got his arms flinging to the side, like, yeah. Jen says, hi, V. And V says, hi, Jen. Jen says, no, you're right. It's hard to keep up. Yeah, that would be something. But I guess if someone says Blingo, then she looks to that person's name and can match the numbers to that. So that would make that easier. So good job for you, V. I'm excited. Um, Todd said that he would help me as I was changing into my PJs. He told me that he would help me um, make sure that I was awake at 6 on Sunday. So, but and I'll send you numbers, but I'll be honest, I'm just excited to finally be a part cuz I love games. And when you were doing the kind of like the Family Feud, I was there for a lot of those. I just never could get my answers in fast enough. But I love games. And that's one thing I miss with my children being grown. So treasure that with Alex as much as you can because they grow up way too fast and then it's so hard that they get lives of their own and sometimes they come back and they say, well, I just didn't think about calling you. I'm like, how can you not think about calling your mama? Like, I think about you all the time, several times throughout the day, and they're just like, ugh. But anyway, I love games. So I'm very excited about Sunday. I cannot wait. Jen says famous players do that like they are cool. Okay. Jen says, yes, that's right. Veronica says, yes, because sometimes I have 45 or more playing the game, which is wonderful, Veronica. I'm telling you, I'm so happy for you. Uh, and Jen says, I miss playing games with my kids too, right? Oh, Veronica, treasure Alex. I mean, he's going to grow up way too fast. I mean, people told me that all the time, and I was just like, what are you talking about? Y'all are crazy. I had 3 boys, and boom, boom, boom. Ugh. And even now, I stop and I think, wow, I've got a son who's married and has given me a grandbaby, and I got a son that's in the Marines, and I've got a son that is right here. I can almost, if I throw really hard, I still couldn't reach his yard, but I was going to say I could throw a rock to his yard, which I can't. He's 2 blocks away. But still, he's so busy. But anyway, I get to see him tomorrow because his car won't start. So we're going to go over and look at it tomorrow and see what we might can do. So hopefully it's just a bad oil filter. But anyway. But yes, they grow up so fast. And not everybody, adult wise, likes to play games. Like I love the Connect Four. I love the Monopoly. I love the, um, Operation. I mean, the old games, not that require a video controller, but the old games, Sorry, and I can't think of it. Trouble. I love all of those. Shoots and Ladders, Candyland. Oh my gosh. Veronica says, laugh out loud. And she says, yes, Jen, me too. Jen says, I see Jeb with beard hairs that has to shave, and I could cry. I know, right? Oh. Veronica says, I need to play with Alex. Yes, 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 yes. Those were my Friday nights were my favorite, which is why you guys mean so much to me on Friday nights, because Friday nights, there was no homework, and I mean, we just got to come home and be a family. And dinner was always geared around the kids. And then eventually, as I started getting older, like late elementary, then they got to rotate, and this Friday night, Isaac got to pick what we were going to have for dinner. And then Jonathan got to pick, and then Andrew got to pick. And it was just really cool. And then there was always board games, and then we'd, do a movie. And it was even more fun when the boys would have friends come over and spend the night, and we'd have more people to play. And not only do I miss the board games with them, I miss the giggles and the laughter, it just, yes, of them now, but I just miss that. So they introduced me to a new game, and I've mentioned it before on my channel, but I can't. What is that game called again? Cards of Humanity?
Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity. And yeah, it's definitely an adult game. Definitely an adult game with your adult children. And even then, it's not easy for this mama to play with her adult kids, but I love it when they're like, "Hey mom, can we come over and we'll play Cards Against Humanity?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So, anyway, Jen says Aggravation was one of our favorites. I've never heard of that game, Jen. Like, what was it about? Have you ever heard the game Aggravation? Have you ever heard the board game Aggravation? He hasn't either. Oh my gosh, what is that? Hello, Miss Roseanne. I'm so sorry. I was late getting off of Conversations, and then we'd been on the road driving all day. So I had to go change and get my shoes off and put some PJs on and get comfortable. So I didn't come back on to this one till 9:30. So I'm glad you found us. And she says, hello, everyone. Jen says, then it was hand and foot card game. Yes. Oh, and when you say hand and foot, Twister. Love playing Twister too. That was always fun. And then we played games sometimes, especially when their friends were over, that didn't require the board games, like, the Simon Says and the Red Rover, and stuff like that. But yeah. So that's a good question for Wednesday on the Hook. I'm going to write that down. Jen says, hi, Roseanne. Jen says, it's a marble game. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I never heard of that then. We played marbles a lot when I was a kid. Not so much with my kids, but. Favorite childhood game. All right. How cool. Y'all, these hot dogs are so big. I'm not sure I can eat them in front of y'all. All right. Well, V, I am so excited about Sunday. So my husband said that he will help me make sure that I am awake and I'm on there. Jen says, now it's dirty marbles and spite. Huh. Veronica says, yes, me too. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. All right. I will think about my numbers and I will email them to you tomorrow afternoon. All right. Gosh, I can remember playing marbles with the neighborhood kids. Drawing the circle and, flicking the marbles to knock them out the circle. And anyway. Roseanne says, what is going on Sunday? So, the bingo, yes. That's what we're talking about. Because you see, I have yet to really come in on a Sunday since she changed from the like Family Feud to the Blingo. So I'm excited. Roseanne says, okay. Jen says, V at Stills, the show has Blingo. Yes. All right. So I see 6 people. Give me a thumbs up if you actually are on here and you watch the Longmire show. Oh, thank you, V. She's provided the link. Roseanne says, thanks, Jen. All right, so I've got Roseanne. She actually watches the show. Oh my gosh, what a season ending. I can't say that enough. I've got Jen. Okay. So let me ask you, ladies. Do you want me to still read the questions? V says, not me, Cynthia, and kind of a sad emoji. And that is okay, because guessing is always fine. I can't tell you how many people have not watched it and guessed and won at times and got to pick colors towards our project. So let me ask you, do you want to go through the questions, or do you want to just talk about it? I'll let that be your call, because either way, we're going to talk about it. Especially episode 10. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Veronica says, yes, you can. Jen says, V, I loved your shopping video, grabbing everything off the shelf. Oh, I missed that one. When did you put that one out? It had to have been recent. Roseanne says, just talk about it. And Veronica says, laugh out loud. Yes, Jen. And where were you shopping? Oh my gosh, that sounds funny. Hello, Mare. Mare says, laugh out loud. Veronica says, Hobby Lobby. See, I knew I had seen people who were showing yarn hauls of going to Hobby Lobby and getting 75% off. That's right, Jen. She got all the deals that I missed. So, V, before you came on to Cup2Hook Conversations, I was talking about Hobby Lobby. I had Todd stop by there today at the one in Easley where we went to see his grandmother because I had seen several videos of, our yarn family, our YouTube family, saying they'd been to Hobby Lobby and they had 75% off. And then Petra was telling me that it normally doesn't happen until the end of summer. And even when I was talking with Kelly on the phone today, she was like, you need to call me back and tell me if you found the deals because it seemed like it was a little bit early for it. So on the second phone conversation I had with her, I'm like, yeah, I walked out with nothing. Now, Mr. Joyful over there was like, look at this, look at this. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to look. I don't want to pay full price. Well, I'm happy for you. Oh my gosh, I am so happy for you. But apparently South Carolina is not on that same memo. And I thought he was talking to me. Jen says, hiya, Mare. And Veronica says, not yarn. Oh, okay. Then I stand corrected. I still want to go watch the video. But now some of them were getting yarn at 75% off. I guarantee you that. Let me ask y'all this. Do any of y'all have one of those, I'm probably not going to say it right, Cry-Cut machines? Did I say it right? Cry-Cut? Cry-Cut? Thank you. She shared the link so we can go see the video. Honestly, I would pull it up on my TV and we could all watch it, but I don't know if they would flag me for copyright issues. That would be fun to watch. Just accessories. Ah, well, that's still fun. But that girl, she didn't even tell me that. She just wanted to tell me about the Easter stuff. I didn't want the Easter stuff. Jen says, cricket like the bug. No, Mary says their regular prices are high. And Veronica says you can. You think they would let me do that and not flag me? No, I'm talking about like the machine that you can cut things out of. I want to get one, but I want to do it on sale, and I don't want to get one until I know how to use it. And I have a friend who says she'll show me how to use hers, but I was just curious if any of y'all had one and if you've used them and if you like them. Mare says no. I was looking for that TV remote. I might have to get his help if we do that. Jen says, yes, it's a, oh, my bad. I don't know who I heard say, maybe my friend makes up a lot of freaky words for things. I love her dearly. And that's what she calls it. But it's called a cricket. Okay. Just like, oh gosh, I don't even know if I can remember the original way to say it. I can't right now. We've known each other way longer than the hospital. I was able to help her get a job at the hospital working in the same department as me. And we have a program. And I can't think of what it's called. All I can think of is what she calls it. And she calls it a hika. But that is not what it is. Okay. So that's just her little unique word for it then. Gotcha. Thank you, Jen. She says it's not cry cut. And I know she's not on here tonight, but if she watches the replay, she'll know I'm talking about her. She makes up the cutest names for things. But anyway. All right. Jen says, ha ha ha. Okay, well, real quick, let's jump in and talk about our show. And if everybody wants to after that, I'll see if Mr. Joyful will help me get Veronica pulled up. If not, I will be watching that video tonight, Veronica. So you look for my comment. I'm gonna pull my notebook out here. Veronica says you can watch later. I'm gonna watch it. All right. So episode 9 was called Continual Soiree, and so I'm gonna kind of read my questions, and we can kind of guide ourselves through there like an outline. So it kind of starts out where Darius is trying to, you know, this is Malachi's kind of henchman, so to speak. He's trying to get into the office at the Red Pony. Mare says there is a P-Touch embellished machine for labels that I want to get because you can print on ribbon. That would be amazing. I'll tell you another one, Mare, that I've seen is the one that you can set a mug down in. You know how I'm all about mugs and sending mugs to you guys? Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. But oh my gosh, I would love to decorate the ribbon. And I'll tell you why, because when I box things up to give as gifts, or even if someone purchases them from me, I like to tie them all, you know, up and decorate them with different ribbons. But most of the time I buy my ribbons from Hobby Lobby because they have some of the cutest ribbons. But that would be awesome. That would be endless. That would be a fun hobby. All right. So let's talk about the scene with Henry and Darius. Darius has shown up. He tries to use his key to get into the office, and he can't. And he tells Henry there's something wrong with the key. And then he's like questioning about the locks, and Henry says he changed the locks. He tells him that Malachi has signed the Red Pony back over to him. And then I was laughing because he took his picture. And he's like, why'd you do that? He says, because I don't have to serve you. And then he puts his picture up on the wall under the do not serve. And I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if I like this conversation. I feel like I'm here by myself. Jen says, I thought when he left, he was going to throw a punch or break a chair or table. Right? And she says, I love that. And see, I guess he doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't know where Malachi is. He doesn't know what's going on. So for him, it's probably still business as usual. Although, since we're not doing questions, we can kind of jump ahead. We know by the end of episode 10 that Darius knows where Malachi is because he's with Malachi at Malachi's granddaughter's house. I gotta find me a blanket. I might have to grab my Longmire blanket. To be honest, it's cold in here. All right. Let's talk about Walt offered to go with Vic to the trial of Gilbert, Chance Gilbert. Anybody have anything they want to? Jen says yes. Freaky, right? I mean, we're going to brush through episode 9. In fact, episode 9, I did not have very many questions, but episode 10, I had a lot. Jen says, poor Henry. Oh my gosh, I know when it ended. Oh my gosh. And can you imagine if we didn't have the luxury of being able to go right into that next season? All right, so let's talk about the trial with Chance Gilbert. First off, that man's crazy. I don't say that about many people, but Mayor says you caught my chills. Yes, I did, Mayor. There's sympathy chills, sympathy chills. Jen says, crazy. Yes, he is nutty, says Roseanne. I'm going to tell you what, it's clearly a movie because I think a lot of what that judge allowed in that courtroom would not happen in your everyday common courtroom. That I can tell you. The line of questioning that he asked. But then some judges, they will let you have that kind of line of questioning. It is crazy. Mayor says that dream catcher is stunning. Oh, are you talking about on my blanket? Oh, I got it backwards even. Ah. Let me take the brake off my wheelchair. I actually am showing you the back side of it. But thank you. This is the front side. Yeah. Yes, I was very excited that that came out even better than I imagined. Okay. Roseanne says, I thought the lawyer should have objected a lot as well. Yes, I did too. To what Gilbert did, yes. Jen says, yes, Roseanne. I did too. And she just kind of sat there. And then she's going to walk Vic out. And I'm like, what good is that going to do? But, and then Walt showing up, he was going to go. And the mayor's like, yeah, I don't think you should do that. I will say this. I didn't really care for the mayor's strategy plan to benefit his politics, but his political role. But I am glad that he was there and did stop Walt from going into the trial because I do think it would have made it worse. Mayor says, yes, the blanket. Oh, thank you. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. And it's warm, actually. It's really thick and warm. So, Jen says the lawyer stopped Walt, not the mayor. I'm thinking, Jen. I thought it was a conversation that he had with the mayor when the mayor was asking him to step down temporarily, and that the mayor brought it to Walt's attention that it would only add kind of fuel to the fire. Jen says Walt met with the mayor at a different time. But when the mayor bought him a shake, I thought they were outside the courtroom because he was going to go in there. I'll go back and watch it. My bad. Veronica says, I'm here, I'm working, making new stitch markers. If someone is interested in my e-stitch marker, all my information is on my channel. Oh my gosh, yes. I will definitely check that out. Roseanne says, the lawyer did talk to Walt not to go in. Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all correcting me. I will go back and watch that. They were in the town square, yes, but a different time. Okay. His lawyer, not the one that was got you, the male lawyer. That's who y'all are talking about. Yes, yes, I do remember that. Okay. I was trying to wrap my brain around when the female lawyer talked to Walt, but you're right. His lawyer for his trial. Gotcha. They were in the town. Okay. Roseanne says, yes, Jen. Roseanne says, yes. Jen says, Walt's lawyer. Gotcha. Gotcha. Now we're on the same page. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay. Next thing to talk about. Jen says, sorry, I didn't even think of her. No, 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 that's fine. What about what Travis pulled out of Vic's trash can? So Jen has literally said exactly what Vic said to Travis. You do realize I peed on those. And an emoji laughing to tears. He's got in both hands multiple pregnancy tests. Roseanne says, oh my goodness, that was so funny when Vic said, you know, I peed on them. Yes, it was hilarious. Oh my gosh. So first off, what do you think about Vic being pregnant? And what do you think about Travis like jumping to take responsibility? Of course, he's assuming he's the only one. He's assuming that he is definitely the father. He was like, yeah, I know, says Roseanne. Jen says she couldn't believe it the first time, let alone 8 times. Now, I didn't count them, so that's cool, Jen. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it was like, well, how many times is she going to do this to think the result's going to be anything different? But I will tell you something that Vic has done good for Travis. Because if you'll remember in episode 10, Jen says I was guessing or exaggerating. He had about 8. I mean, he had 2 handfuls. So there were like 4 or 5 in each hand. Roseanne says Travis doesn't see her with anybody else. Yeah, he thought he was the only one. But he seemed to understand when there was only one other option. Um, but either way, he cares enough about her, you guys. In episode 10, he's taken his RV and he's renting a space 3 lots down from hers. He's out of his mother's house. So in a way, she's kind of helping him grow up. But the way he jumped on that bandwagon, and I mean, even when she comes home and she's been beat up, I mean, he's there. He's wanting to take care of her. And this is not a side of Travis we are accustomed to seeing. Jen says, I was shocked when he was an option. Well, let's be honest. Vic was not exactly living responsibly. Roseanne says, and to be roughed up like that and nothing happened to her. Come on now. Jen says, yes, Roseanne. Roseanne says, laugh out loud, Jen. I know. And that was something because she took quite a beating in that riverbed. And I don't know about y'all, but I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true. And as soon as she found that gun under that rock, I knew somebody was going to come up. And I was not surprised that it was Gilbert's wife. Jen says, no, neither one of them were responsible. No, they weren't. But I mean, Vic more, I would expect more out of her, Travis is just kind of I don't want to call him immature because he's living in his mother's house. He just, he's just never really seemed to have taken responsibility for anything. I mean, back when, yeah, trying to think of his name. Branch was alive and he had to go, serve eviction papers and stuff like that to Travis. I mean, Travis just was still living in the high school days and the football days, and he just wasn't moving on and growing up. And Vic, I just expect more out of Vic, especially with all the chaos she's been through already. You would think she just would be a little bit more responsible, but that whole thing about her kissing Walt just left her acting stupid. Jen says, yes, right. Jen says, mama's boy. Yep. All right. So clearly she's pregnant. So what do you think about Jacob asking Katie to hire some people on the res, and especially when he pointed out that these specific people have family on the tribal council? Jen says he's shady and she's seeing it but not willing to believe that. She believes that she is seeing a good side of Jacob, as she said when she defended Jacob to her dad even. And Roseanne said, then again, he's trying to keep things cool with the tribe. Absolutely. Because of a lot of the stuff that Malachi has done has affected them all in a bad way. Y'all, excuse me just a minute. Todd,
Yes, ma'am.
can you bring me that little heater and help me get it plugged in? I'm sorry, I just cannot shake this cold. Or I'm cold. Um, I had a thought and I lost it. Um, oh, when Katie pointed out to Walt, "Hey, Dad, by the way, I shot a man and I'm okay. I'm over it." Oh, y'all, that was so sad. That just kind of bit. It hurt, you know. And Walt walks out, and you know it got to him because he stopped outside the door and paused. Any any comments y'all want to make on that? Jen says, I felt so bad for her. Yeah, because all he was there for was about Jacob. And he knew this happened to her. Roseanne was like, But yeah, he didn't even stop to think about mentioning it to her or anything. Even when he made the comment that she'd done a nice job on the floors, and she said, yeah, except for the blood stain under the rug. She gave him an opportunity to reach out to her and show some compassion, and he didn't. And I know it's in there because of some of the tender moments that we've seen between him and Donna. And I mean, especially the one at the very end where he and Donna were sitting on his porch talking, and he puts his cowboy hat on her head. I mean, even the way he's kind of joking with her on their Truth or Dare game, you know, when she asked him who kissed better, her or Vic. Well, he don't really know because he was asleep or he was out of it when Vic started to kiss him. And then he turned around and asked her, well, who's better, me or your ex-husband? And I mean, the way they joked with one another, he's got that tenderness in him, but why can't he show that to Katie? And she needs him. I mean, he's fought so long to protect her about her mother's true passing, but now that she's had to toughen up, it's like he's left her to be tough and he's not really being fatherly. And this is the only time with Walt that I've just been like, Roseanne says, because he's heard that she is going along with Jacob, and that she's turned her back on him at that moment. And that is how Walt feels. He feels that she and Henry have turned their backs on him. Jen says he's crazed and obsessed with the Hector thing. Yes. And now we know he's catching on who the Hector really is. He's told Ferg and them, not leave it alone. Roseanne says that was so funny. Talking about the hat on Donna's head. Yes, I love that moment. Jen says he didn't kiss her. She kissed him, and they made it out to be like lovers. Absolutely, Jen. And that's what I'm saying. He doesn't know how the kiss was. He was not really conscious when it happened. And if it hadn't come out, he wouldn't have even known it happened. Because if you remember, he kind of found out about it through hearsay and confronted Vic. And then he was like, are you going to kiss me? Well, he woke up and there was that awkwardness between them, but still. Roseanne says, yes, Jen. Jen says, it was a goodbye kiss, really. It really was. She thought he was going to die. And she said so. She said as much. She says, well, before you're gone, and she might have even said before he died. I don't know. It's been a while back, but she kissed him. But I know she regrets that. And she regrets how it's affected so many people. Roseanne says, question mark, does the doctor friend know about Walt's wife? I don't, Jen says, I believe so, Roseanne. Okay. I don't know. I do know she asked him, was your life this chaotic before we started dating? Like a lot has happened to her and a lot has happened to him since they started dating. I do think he's probably talked to her, especially after he rescued her from being kidnapped. I'm sure they've probably had that conversation. So I would tend to agree with you, Jen, that she probably does know what happened. Roseanne says, yes, that was funny too. Thanks, Jen. But, all right. What else happened? Oh, this was a question I had. I thought it was so funny. And Vic was like, don't ever say that again. That question was, what did Travis call the baby? Remember when he called the baby the elephant in the womb instead of elephant in the room? Elephant in the womb. I thought that was funny. So Roseanne says, laugh out loud. Jen says, he has a big mouth. Jen says, doesn't know when to shut up. I just think he's really immature. Um, so do y'all think Malachi is the one who wrote Hector Lives Out with the Rocks? This is very true, Roseanne. She says, Travis doesn't have anyone else to talk to. He really doesn't. And his mom is not exactly a nurturing woman. Um, Protective, but not nurturing. Jen says, but he realizes that. He does. So, do y'all think that it was Malachi that wrote Hector Lives Out with the Rocks? Jen says, yes, he did the rocks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. He did. Do you think he knows who Hector is? Roseanne says, maybe Malachi. What about the woman that lives in the wild? Maybe it can be her. Oh, you talking about the one that Vic bought the RV from? The one that shot at the men to help Henry. Oh, wow. Jen says made people upset with Henry so they wouldn't come looking for him in the end. That's a good thought. Oh my gosh. That's good. Huh. Yeah, because now We know that Malachi is at his granddaughter's house on Crow Land. Isn't it Crow Land also that woman lives on? Isn't that the Crow Land? I mean, I know the rocks were not on Crow Land. That was on the res. Roseanne says, a lot going on. Yes. And Jen says, yes, Roseanne. Roseanne says, that's the way I think. Roseanne says, oh. So she might be aware. Part of me does think, to answer the question I asked, does Malachi know that Henry is Hector? And part of me wants to say yes. Because of him using his granddaughter to lure Henry to him. But part of me says no, even if Malachi is the one who wrote Hector Lives with the Rocks, he's the one trying to bring Hector down. He's the one trying to stop Hector. And even if he doesn't know that Henry is Hector, I think the reason he lured Henry there is because Jacob was only trying to banish Malachi from the land. But Henry took the red pony back from Malachi. And so that's partly why I think that Malachi has lured Henry there, to maybe try and take the red pony back by brutality. I don't know. But I love the idea of it being the wild woman and her trying to throw Hector off of Henry's trail. Walt figured it out. Walt put the pieces together. Jen says, yes, on Crow Land. And then she says, so people won't look for Henry there. Yes. Roseanne says, oh, on account of the books. Ah. Jen says he wants to take care of Henry, then go after Jacob. Yeah. Wow. 10 episodes left, you guys. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, swing back around to Travis a minute. Do you remember what kind of coupon he gave Vic? And also, what about Vic accidentally punching him? Yes, Jen, it will be. She says it will be sad when it's over. It will. Jen says laugh out loud. Roseanne says yes, babysitting. Yes. Jen says free babysitting. Yes, that was so sweet. And that's why he was moving his RV to the space in the lot 3 lots down from hers, was so he could be close and he could babysit as often as she needed. And that was just so sweet, you guys. And this is even after he knows that there's a 50% chance that the baby's not even his. So I think he truly, in his own way, really cares for Vic. I just thought about something. Is my heater too loud? Tell me if that's too noisy. Because if it is, I can get him to bring me a sweatshirt and put on. Roseanne says, well, she has to protect herself. Yes, and he shouldn't have snuck up on her. Exactly, Roseanne. He should not have snuck up on her. Jen says he had his hood up, sneaking up on her. Yes, he did. Roseanne says, no, it's okay. Jen says, no, not loud. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. What about the conversation? Roseanne says, I thought it was one of Gilbert's family members talking about that snuck up on her. I wasn't sure at first who it was, until obviously she hit him and it was Travis. But that would have been a good thought, that it was one of Gilbert's family members, especially after what happened with Gilbert's wife. Yes, Jen, he is an adorable idiot. Roseanne says, yes, laugh out loud, Jen. So what do you think about the conversation between Katie and Jacob when Katie came to Jacob and basically told him that she had hired everyone and she asked for a little bit more money to hire someone else, which we know was Mandy. But she was talking to him about her dad and Henry, that they're good men. She says they're not perfect, but she doesn't always agree with the way they think. What do you think that was all about for her to talk to him as her boss about her dad and a man who's pretty much been like an uncle to her whole life? It's kind of like work versus family. Jen says she's making a mistake. Roseanne says, So Night Horse, personally, has gotten to me a little bit. Now, my husband will tell you it's my nature to kind of see the good in people. But Night Horse is kind of like, I'm on a ride, I'm on a journey with him right now, because I've always just seen him as trouble and a not so good guy. And this season, I see him as a businessman trying to make things work, trying to bring jobs and, substance to the res, even though it's through a casino. Him working with Henry to bring Malachi down. Maybe I'm being naive, but I kind of saw like these good qualities kind of arise from him. And as Katie told him, my dad is obsessed with you. Like and then Jacob came back and was like, he has me marked for every bad thing that's ever happened. So do you think he's just, because Jen, you said she's making a mistake. So you see him as pretty much a bad guy. Like his intentions are not on the up and up. I do think he is driven by money and power. Clearly he feels lost because, as we know, he's not a true full-blooded Indian, but yet he's trying to live that lifestyle. He's trying to belong. And Jen's saying she's taken his side over her dad's. Yeah, as a parent, I would have a hard time if my son was working and siding with someone clearly that was my nemesis, you know. But what if I'm wrong? What if I think this person is not good? Their intentions are not well given, and yet they are. Roseanne says, you are so correct on that. Roseanne says, how about when Katie asked Walt if he is still seeing the shrink girlfriend? Oh, that was funny. Yes. And Jen says, that had to hurt Walt. Oh, I'm sure it hurt Walt. I'm sure it did. I mean, in my own personal life, I can relate to something like that happened in my very own family. My brother and I chose not to choose sides, and because we didn't choose a side, one of our family members chose the side for us and caused us to not have a relationship with them and other family members for quite some time. Thank goodness we've moved past that, but it is hurtful for both parties because they see it one way and you feel, you know, that a decision has been made and for you, and it's just the way things have to be. And so it's not a win-win for anyone. Katie believes she's doing the right thing. For her, I mean, she wants to stay in Absaroka County. She wants to stay near her dad, especially now that she's learned the truth of her mom. And she kind of feels like it's now her turn to kind of protect him, although she feels like she's been taking care of him for so long. Plus, every day he seems to get more and more and deeper in trouble. So she definitely doesn't want to let her gift, her ability to practice law, you know, just get thrown to the wayside and be a waitress at the Red Pony or bartender. So she feels like she's doing a good thing by working on the res and helping these people realize what their rights are and helping them fight for their rights. But in the same token, it has put her in a tough position because this cause, these people are part of her heart and the goodness of her heart, but her dad is a strong part of her heart, and she's torn, and he doesn't see it. He sees it cut and dry, and in a way, I'm sure he looks at it more as a betrayal. He loves her, but she's willingly working for someone and knows that her father despises him. So in his eyes, she's working for the enemy. Jen says, our kids think we are stupid, but we have been around the block a few times. Yes. Mare says, being a good egg. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes. You nailed that one on the head. Jen says, I felt it weird about the sweat too. What do you mean by that, Jen? The sweat. Oh, yes. The ceremony that they had for her, is that what you're talking about? Yes, you are, with Katie in the tent. Yes. That whole thing was weird. Yes. And she had, I don't know, she had this weird look on her face. Like her mind was all over the place. Like I think she was thinking about everyone. And what was she doing? Was she making the right decision? Um, yeah, it was clear that she was troublesome by where she was. And it kind of affirmed it with where she went afterwards. But yeah, that was very weird. All right. Let's jump back over to Darius a minute. What about the money he was burying in the ground? And what did you think was in the bag at first? I mean, what did you think he was actually burying before we learned that it was money? Yes, Jen. Very, very excellent point. Jen says she was having visions of things happening now and things happen in the past and not to come. Yes, yes. I think it was the spirits were moving her and working through her. And yes, um, very excellent point. Uh, gosh, y'all, I cannot get warm. It's been a while since I've been this cold. And it was warm here today. It got up to 77 degrees today. Um, let's see. Jen says he was digging up the money, wasn't he? Roseanne says maybe that was all of the drug money from the Wabash guy. No, he was burying it. He was trying to bury it. Oh my gosh, you guys. Jen says she saw Henry in trouble too. Yes. Roseanne says, oh. Jen says, oh, I didn't catch that part. You guys, what about the fight between Walt and Henry? And then Henry sending Walt, the cowboy and the Indian. Oh my gosh. Talk to me about that. Jen says, OMG. Oh my gosh. He wanted Henry just to come out and say he was Hector. And I mean, and Henry was like, well, Walt called him disloyal. And Henry was like, it's not disloyal, it's protecting you. And Walt didn't see it that way because he's sheriff. And oh my gosh. And then they got into that fight. And then Henry sent him the cowboy and the Indian. Jen says, I wanted to yell at them both. Right? Roseanne says, well, Walt was so hurt. That made him so angry and he wasn't getting the truth. Jen says, yell, not tell. Yes. Oh my gosh, it was awful. And then, of course, they both got pulled in. Uh, and see, this is what I don't get. So help me. I've always looked at the red pony as not being on the reservation. But the red pony must be on the res. Because when they got into that bar fight, they were at the res jail with Matthias. And that's where Katie also met Matthias to be legal representation for Darius. So all this time, I thought the red pony was not on the reservation, but it must be. Jen says, it sucks when you know you're right but can't prove it. And says, then made to let it go. Yes, 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 yes. So where do y'all see the red pony being? I mean, because I know I'm freezing.
Could be on the edge of the reservation.
Huh?
Could be on the outside edge of the reservation.
I don't know. He's saying, could it be on the outside of the reservation? But you know, everybody went in there. I mean, from uh, Walt to Ferg to Eamon, you know, I mean, Manny, all of them, Travis. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't get on the res, but it just seems like that would not be a popular local hangout if it were on the res, because a lot of them are white men, so to speak. And so Todd Mayer says hello. He says hello back. I don't know if you can hear him. Roseanne says, I thought it was on the outside too. Jen says, I think it's on the edge of the land, the res land. It must be. It must be right there so that, you know, because.
Off the reservation, but right on the border.
Right. He's saying it might be off the reservation, but right there on the border. Because you do see, you know, some of the Cheyenne, you know, eating in there and stuff and drinking. Plus, you know, that's where Darius and Malachi and all them did their business. So, but yeah, I just, you know, but maybe it got taken to Matthias because after all, Walt is the sheriff of Absaroka and he really can't handle his own case when he was in the bar brawl as well. So maybe that's why Matthias got pulled it, or you know, they got taken to Matthias. I don't know. But Mayor says thanks, Todd. But anyway, yeah. Um all right. So that's episode 9. We probably touched part of 10, but uh episode 10 was called The Stuff Dreams Are Made Of. And let's see. The first question had been, did Henry press charges against Walt? And of course he didn't. And then, of course, when Walt came home, Donna was on his porch. And so, out of all the things that we've seen, the scenes we saw with them between episode 9 and 10, are they still dating or are they broke up? How did y'all take that? How did you walk away from that scene where Walt said, I guess the timing is just not right? Because she was kind of pushing him, what are we? And he said, the timing is just not right. Do you think they broke up? Roseanne said, still friends, but not going to third base or home. Yeah, I definitely think they're still friends, but I definitely don't think they're dating anymore. And I was really sad about that. I can tell you this right now. I will not be happy. Roseanne says, wasn't time for them, like you said. Yeah, I'm sad about it though. I thought she was great for him. And I mean, like I said, the tender moments that he showed her, he laughed. He laughed when he was around her. He opened his heart up, even though he tried to open his bed up, but they got shot at. She got kidnapped. But I mean, even that term of endearment, him putting his cowboy hat on her, I was just like, ah. But um, even when, he told her when she came to him because of, the subpoena or whatever, and he said, look, if we didn't steal those files, we may not have found you. She goes, like, no, I get it. She was understanding and caring about everything. She wasn't upset. But I'm telling y'all, if he ends up with Vic, nothing against her, I'm just not going to be happy. Like, they are just trouble waiting for trouble. Yes, Roseanne, as you were going to say, he better not go with Vic. Oh. And out of all the guys, I thought Eamon was the best for Vic. All right. Talk to me a little bit about Gilbert calling Walt and wanting him to help put him on death row. And of course, Walt says no. And while we're there, Roseanne says, he will be, I think he's the daddy. He will be, I think he's the daddy. Oh, talking about Eamon. Okay. That's who I would like to see Vic with. Like I said, I'm not against her as a character. I like her, and I'm happy she's pregnant. I think she needs something to ground her, and a baby would do that, but with the right person. And I think her person is Eamon. Roseanne says yes. All right, so talk to me about Gilbert wanting Walt to put him on death row. Walt says no. And then Vic coming back around when she hears, you know, from Walt what Gilbert wanted. Vic is willing to try and make that happen for him. So, talk to me about your thoughts on that. Um, you think it'll happen? And what will that do between Walt and Vic when Walt finds out that Vic is trying to help Gilbert get on death row? And oh my gosh, the Gilbert clan. Oh, whew. Vic thinks she had a bad encounter with the wife at the riverbed, Oh my gosh, what is she going to do when she has a whole clan come after her? Roseanne said Gilbert wanted to have a quick sentence and take the death row. Let him suffer for what he did. Yeah, Walt's not going to help him end his life and not pay for the crimes he committed. Um, I mean, honestly, ideally, I would love for Vic and Sean to get back together. But at this point in the game, I mean, for Sean, apparently, I mean, he was pulling away for a long time. And now she's definitely, I mean, they're not divorced. And she's definitely stepped outside the marriage and gotten pregnant. So Eamon still is going to be the best choice. And yes, I am praying that Eamon is the father. Even though Travis has great intentions, a baby's not the way to make somebody grow up. But Vic is pregnant now. She's got to be careful about what she does, and she's about to upset a group of frightening people. Roseanne says, what would make Gilbert to think of Walt for Walt to help him? I think it was just because he thought Walt might have some pull, being a sheriff and all. I think that's what that was all about. But Walt was telling him, I don't have jurisdiction over that. And no, he wasn't even willing to talk because it would be a coward's way out. But I think that's why he thought Walt might could help. Roseanne says, Um, I did think it was funny in the conversation between Walt and Gilbert when Walt kind of when Gilbert told Walt that they were kind of like Hamilton and Jefferson, and Walt was like, Jefferson never fought in a duel, and he said, Aaron Burr did though. I I just thought that was kind of funny. And then when he leaves, he's kind of like, well, to Gilbert, I'll see you in 20 years. And Gilbert's like, 20 years? That's like a lifetime for me. Oh, wow, Mayor. Mayor says Hamilton is on Broadway. That is cool. So, what did y'all think about when Katie hired Mandy? And Mandy was so excited about the job. And when Katie walked away, Mandy returned the cash that she had stolen from Katie. Roseanne said she was always there anyway. She was always there. But do you think Katie's going to be able to trust her? Do you think she's going to be loyal to Katie? Yeah, I didn't know she was stealing either until that scene. Um, But I think the mere fact of her putting it back was the fact that here Katie's giving her this great opportunity, which clearly ended up resonating well with the tribe because one, Katie killed a white man defending, a Cheyenne, and then she's also helping to employ some of these people, whether they know that Jacob is funding it or not is irrelevant. And then I think Mandy has made the decision that she's going to be on the up and up because this job is better than anything she could ever imagine or hope for. So any thoughts about what may be to come in season 6? Our final season, 10 episodes left. Do you think Walt and Henry will exit as friends, or do you think their friendship is going to be over? Do you think Henry's going to live? I think our sweet friend Jen has fallen asleep on us. Roseanne says, I think they'll still be friends and let's hope he lives. Absolutely. I am team Henry and Walt the whole way. And I think as long as they've been friends and everything that they've been through, that kind of friendship, you can't destroy it. They may have to agree to disagree at times, but I don't think that friendship is going to be, lost. And yes, I do hope Henry makes it, just for the mere fact too. I don't want him to die. Well, I don't want him to die, period, but I don't want him to die and him and Walt not have made up, because that will just be one more death Walt has to carry that doesn't get complete closure. And they've just come through so much. I definitely think things are about to change in Absaroka. I don't think things are going to stay the same. Is there anything up to this point that you're looking for complete clarification on, that you think season 6 might bring clarity to? Roseanne says, as in what? Anything. Like, will Malachi be completely brought down? I hope so. And shown for the slimy operations that he was doing? I hope so. I would like to see Walt remain sheriff. I would like to see him bring in one more deputy and strengthen his team back up. Roseanne says, I hope so too. Says yes. I definitely want to see things kind of smooth over between Walt and Katie. I would even like to see Vic and Eamon together, but I'd almost like to see them move on. Like, I do think the work relationship of Walt and Vic needs to be split up. I would like to see Jacob become a legit successful businessman and truly help lead the reservation to where it needs to be for its people. Roseanne says, um, clearly romance is not in the picture for Walt and Henry. Although I'd like to see Henry come through, and I still would like to see him adopt a child. I think that would be cool. But Roseanne says, wouldn't it be something if Branch shows up and that the death was not real to us viewers? Oh my gosh. That would be, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That would be awesome. Obviously, I want Walt to win the case against Barlow's brother. Roseanne has the smiley face emoji laughing to tears. So, yes, I'm excited about this next season. I will have to mention this again later when we have everyone with us. Excuse me. But do you know who the writer of Longmire is? His name is Craig Johnson. And no, I forgot. His name is Craig Johnson, and one of our Yarny friends has met him in person and was telling me about it. And it's Petra. Petra has met Craig Johnson. Is that not like really cool? So I thought that was pretty cool. And Roseanne says, wow. Yeah, that was awesome. All right. So, oh, yes, Roseanne. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I did have that as a question, and I must have overlooked it. Yes, I completely agree with you. So she said, what about the breaking of the jar? That felt like finalization of Hector. And really, Mayor, I did not realize that. She said Petra was a writer or editor. Oh, wow. That is awesome. I did not know that. I completely agree with you, Roseanne. And Matthias said Hector has served his term or whatever. So, yes, Roseanne says, interesting about Petra. Yes, I think Hector is Hector no more, because even when Henry was telling him, you need to go put the jar back on the mountain, he's like, well, there could be people watching it, and he just threw it down. I thought it was beautiful. Like, that's the best way that scene could have gone. I know, right, Roseanne? Mayor says part-time. Still, that is fascinating. That is awesome about Petra. Roseanne says Henry looked like for real, like over it. Yeah, you could just see the relief. Of course, it's kind of short-lived now that he's been taken in by Malachi and Darius. But yes, and eventually, I do hope that Henry has the opportunity to tell Walt how him and Jacob were working together for so long trying to bring Malachi down, because Walt is convinced that Jacob is still the one behind it all, the prostitution and the gambling and all of that, and he's not. So yeah, I definitely think season 6 is going to be a rebirth for all of our characters. Ferg has pretty much already started his in this new dating relationship. He's definitely become more confident, and that just makes my heart smile. And it's made him a better officer. We've seen that. We've seen him use that confidence, like even pulling over Manny. Roseanne says, when the granddaughter said that her coat was gone, didn't Henry know that was a ploy? You don't see everything that goes on in your bar. Yeah, I don't know. But I will tell you, and I'm sure from what you just said with that, at first I was like in the moment. But when he left to take her home, and especially when they got out and she said, "Oh no, the lights are off." He's like, "Let me walk you in." I knew then for sure he was walking into some kind of trap. And I was not surprised at all that it was Malachi. None at all. And for Henry, whose instincts are pretty spot on, Roseanne says, yes, a trap. I was kind of shocked too that he didn't put those pieces together. Roseanne says, gullible. I just, and I mean, they're torturing him pretty good. So, but they're on Crow land. So, if the wild woman is the one who wrote Hector lives in the rocks, then she's watching and she's going to know they have Henry. Roseanne says, but let's see if they reap for what they have sown. Absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. Roseanne says, good. Oh, yes, about the wild woman. Yes. Well, I guess good one about the wild woman. Yes, I guess we'll soon find out. So, I know that we'll meet together next Friday. Yes, which is the 16th. And then the following Friday, I think, is the last Friday of the month. Let me get my calendar here. Too bad Jen's not still awake. I could show her. See, I'm using one of her bookmarks that she sent me. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay. So we don't move his grandmama until 3 weeks from today. So we get to meet the next two Fridays. So the last Friday of this month we'll not meet, because I definitely probably will not be home in time, because they're literally having to load all of her stuff up in one day. So, and I know Todd and I and his brother won't get there. Well, I guess it depends. If the wound center feels comfortable enough to let me go next Friday, then I won't have the wound appointment and we'll go early. But I'm not gonna try and push that. And I don't have a way on the road to reach out to you guys, because until I get monetized, I can't just go live on my phone. But ooh, the day I do, yay. All right. So I know I have Roseanne and Mayor still here with me. Oh, HD. Did many times mistakes. I was so frustrated about crochet hats, so want to remove all. Oh. So basically did so many mistakes. I was so frustrated. Oh, HD. Although I do feel your pain, because that's how I felt about that hoodie and the sleeves going in that blocked sleeve. It just didn't sit right for me. So I ended up having to redo the sleeve and actually make it a little bit wider on the arm where it connected to make it fit right. So what are you going to do? Tried from yesterday night. Oh. Where's my phone? My phone should be. I've heard it going off. I was gonna Google. It must be over. It must be over on my walker. Here, let me see. I was gonna Google real quick. I'm turning my heater off on accident. I got this other computer. Let me see if I can Google that real quick. I want to see what that is. My knitting hats are basic. Anything fancy is crocheted. Okay, so that just answered something for me there. So that hat, it must be a knitted hat. Let's see here. Croche hat pattern. Oh, wow. Some of them can be really intricate. Let me see. Because, like, move my food out the way here. Because, see, some of these, I don't know how well y'all can see them. And I don't know what the one you're doing looks like, but wow, some of these look really detailed. See those? Mare says knitting takes so much longer. I keep it small. HD says yes. Yes, I do agree about that. What little knitting experience I have. HD says, but we need patience. Yes. Roseanne says, yes, they are so nice. Wow. I love this one right here. I'm going to point to her and then I'll put her closer. This one right here, this lady. Hopefully y'all can see that. Oops, it disappeared. Hang on. Let me see if I can click on it, make it bigger. There we go. That one's really pretty. Roseanne says, yes, they are so nice. Mare says, simple. Roseanne says, wow. Yeah. A lot of detail. Of course, I can see the knit and the purl stitches that are appearing in that hat. Okay. So, Mare says, I hate those double pointed needles. HC says, look at another design like diamonds and some other, what? Look at another design like diamonds and some other designs. Let's see. All right, well, let's just try this. Okay. Here's one. That looks like it's in it. That is pretty. Wow. That looks complicated. HT says, basic brochet hat is easy, but includes different designs that will make mad. HT says, me too, Mare. HT says, basically, I don't have double pointed needles, so I'm using long wire circular needles. Roseanne says, nice. Yes. Those are nice, though. Well, HD, what time is it where you are? Maybe you just need to walk away from it and pick it up again tomorrow. $10.34. Maybe pick up another whip and let it encourage you and bring you some joy, and then tomorrow give it one more go. And then that way it's 3 days in. I wouldn't give up just yet. And unfortunately, everything takes practice too. But that's how I kind of feel about socks with sock yarn. It takes forever. And by the time you accomplish one sock, you don't feel like doing the other one. Although they're beautiful. HD says, laugh out loud. Now move on to color working hat. We'll try later, but I don't know any to give up. Mare says, I usually cheat and crochet that last part to close the hat. I hear you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have something to show y'all. You know, I think we only got to use our little March, St. Patrick's cauldrons once. Yes, HD, I don't blame you. I would not want to give up either. I would walk away, maybe work on something else that's a little bit less, detailed, or doesn't require taking me a little bit out of my comfort zone, that I can just relax and do. and then tomorrow have a fresh start and a go at it. But I wouldn't give up just yet. And even if it doesn't come out right for your first one, it'll be a trial and error. You know, you'll just get the feel of it. So this is so true, Mare. A big palm makes all look perfect. Very, very true. But you ready to see what our little April things are? Aren't they cute? They're little bunny eggs. HD says, we'll leave for you. Be right back. Little work. Okay. All right. So, Mare says adorable bunnies. Roseanne says cute. Believe it or not, I looked in Walmart and Big Lots trying to find some kind of cute little something for Easter, you know, holiday for April. And I finally came across these guys in the dollar store. So can't beat 8 of them for $1. All right. So we have to pick colors. We're still going to do that. And I am going to fold these cards and try to mix them up. I'm only going to do 5 of the 8 eggs. And I'm going to mix them, and I'm going to try to put them in these eggs without looking. I'm not even going to look at the numbers on the eggs. I have 3 because we're picking 3 colors. I have 3 that will say pick a color and 2 that will be blank. So if it looks funny that I'm just sitting here staring at y'all, it's because I'm not trying to look, because I don't even want to know. I want to be pleasantly surprised. So I don't know what number eggs I'm working in. I don't know what the piece of papers say, if they're blank or say pick a color. This is awkward. And normally I would have had this already done. A lot of times I get Todd to do it, so I don't know. A couple times I've had my son do it, but there was only so much I could get done yesterday and before we left this morning. So okay, one more to go. This is weird. Let me look and see if y'all are saying anything. Roseanne says cute. HD says pretty. All right, now I've got them all done. I'm going to mix them up even more. So I got them all. All right. The fairest way I know to do this, I know I have Mare, Roseanne, and HD on with me. And I'm going to scroll all the way back up to the live, the beginning of the live chat. Jen was the first person on. I'm just going to ask, Jen, are you by any chance awake and still with us? Now I got to scroll back to the bottom. I'm going to go look in the meantime. After Jen, the next person who appeared in the chat was Mare. So Mare, you'll be 2. Then Veronica, I don't know if Veronica is still with us. She would be 3. And let's see, I'm going to start writing these down. So first was Jen, Mare, Veronica. Roseanne, all right, and HD. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 names, and I see 6 people in the chat. All right, so let's see here. Did Jen respond? Nope. Mayor says I am crocheting on my shawl, so I still have Mayor. Veronica says I'm still here, y'all, so I have Veronica. And Mayor says, hey, V. All right, so Jer. That's Jen and Mayor together. Jen has not responded, so Mayor, pick a number 1 through 5. And she picked 4. And here is bunny number 4. I'll show you the 4. And let's see what bunny number 4 says. And bunny number 4 says pick a color. So if you will, pick a color, which would be a number 1 through 12 from me, please, ma'am. And she chose color number 2. And I'm just going to look real quick because I have my card right here. And sweet, this is actually a color that has not appeared in our blanket in a little bit of time, but it's minty. And let me see. So here's the blanket. And there's the minty green there, this little strip right here. But the last time it appeared was all the way down here in the triangles. So that's a big jump. So that's going to be cool to get that color back in here. So thank you. All right, the next person that appeared in the chat was Veronica. So Veronica, pick a bunny for me. You've got 1, 2, 3, and 5. All right, she picked bunny number 5. And there's his little 5. And let's see what he says. And he's blank. I'm sorry. All right. The next person is Miss Roseanne. If you will pick a bunny, we have 1, 2, or 3. Roseanne picked bunny number 3. Bunny number 3. And let's see what bunny number 3 says. And he says pick a color. So Roseanne, pick a color 1 through 12 except 2. She picked color 3. And on my chart, color 3 is red. Cherry red. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've had red 6 times in my blanket. And the last time was right there. So that'll be cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, we got one more color to pick. HD, you are next. You can pick bunny number 1 or bunny number 2. Okay, I do think she said she was going to have to walk away a minute. So, because I'm all about fairness, Mare and Rose, you've already gotten a chance to pick a color. I'm going to swing back around to Veronica. So, Veronica, you got a 50-50 chance, my friend. Bunny number 1 or bunny number 2? My 1 looks funny looking at it backwards. And I'm pretty sure, Veronica, not that I know, bunny number 2 is going to have pick a color. Ah, you did not mean bunny number 2. You meant bunny number 1 because you are number 1. There it is. There it is. Pick a color for me, Veronica. 1 through 12, except for 2 or 3. Those have already been chosen. Thank you, Roseanne. She says, yes, that, right. She meant 1. She meant 1. 8. And number 8 is bright yellow. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, ladies, for helping to pick. Roseanne says, yep, and yay, V. All right. That was fun. So, all right. Anything else about any of the first 5 seasons that we've seen? Anything else about the upcoming season? Any questions about the Longmire blanket? If not, we are probably going to go ahead and call it a night. I am not going to lie to you. I am surprised I am still awake. But I'm glad I am. I'm glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back. There's Veronica with her little emoji again. I love it. Hands to the side. And Roseanne says, it was fun. It was. And this was good and still fun discussing the questions. Yes, and that's what I love. I love that we adapt to the situation, and that we just continue to support one another, be there for one another. I love the fact that, you know, when we're here, no one has to worry about not fitting in. You know, like, there are people who come on here and they don't even watch the show, but they still have fun and they play with us. And to me, that's what it's about. If you didn't feel the acceptance and you didn't feel the camaraderie, then you wouldn't play. And I love that that's, you know, how people feel. I won't have it any other way. And then, yeah, sometimes we come on and, you know, like our good friend Jen, she's had a really hard week. She's had a rough day. I know many of us have had some rough days. And so she fell asleep on us. And that's okay, because we know that we were the last thing on her mind when she went to sleep. So hopefully she's having great dreams. Some days I've had rough and I just had to say, you guys, I can't do it. Or like last week, me not processing and putting it together in time to get the message out there that it's Good Friday. We're not going to meet. I know some podcasters did things on Good Friday. I know they did some things still on Easter, and that's okay. But I appreciate the fact that you accept me and the fact that I chose not to. I chose to focus on family. Now, I did have full intentions, because everybody was going to be doing their own thing, to going on V's show, but I fell asleep. My husband and my son had talked about watching a movie that I really didn't care to watch, and so I honestly was okay with that because I knew I was going to be on V's show. But oh no, I was looking at the inside of my eyeballs. But the fact that these things happen, I love that you guys are flexible. I love that you're understanding. I love that you're patient. And I want to reciprocate those feelings back to you. So, yeah, Roseanne, we didn't go through questions tonight. We didn't play it as a game. But I agree. I had just as much fun with the discussion. So, yep. And some nights we might have 15 people on here. Some nights we might have 4. And it doesn't matter whether it's 4, 15, or 30 or 100. We're still going to be us and we're still going to have fun. So I love that. Veronica, my husband, he's team Veronica Sunday. He's going to make sure that I'm awake. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to come and be a part of that. So Mare says, night, my Yarny friends. Good night, Mare. Mare, I hope that you are feeling much better. And I can't wait to connect and talk to you. Roseanne says, good night, Mare. Roseanne says, yes. Yes. I'm not sure what that says. Yes. Oh, yes, that is okay. Mare says, hugs to all. Veronica says, okay, nice. And Veronica says, I can't wait to see you on Sunday. Yes, yes, yes. I got it, Roseanne. Thank you. She says, it's okay. All right, you guys. I love you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you for 5 wonderful seasons of Longmire. We are on the home stretch. 1 season left. And then on to Call the Midwife we go. And I am just as excited about those projects. The only concern I have about the Call the Midwife projects is when I first heard we had 10 seasons, I was thinking, we were going to have like 10 seasons, like, at least 10 to plus episodes per season. That's not the case. Some of those seasons we only have, like 6 or 8 episodes. So with that being the case, we'll have to see. We might even do 1 episode a week. I don't know, in order to be able to complete the project. So we'll see. We'll see. But we've got at least 2 months before we have to make any decisions there. So, and I am trying to start working ahead as much as I can on the Longmire blanket, so that I can go ahead and start getting things ready for that. So, yeah. All right. Veronica has smiley face emojis with hearts around them. Roseanne says, good night, everybody. Hearts and praying hands. And yeah. Thanks again, you guys. I love you so much. Hugs, 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 hugs. And I'll see you again next week. Well, I'll see you before then in different things in Veronica's chat and then in some of my other videos. But as far as movie night goes, I can't wait till next Friday night. All right. Mwah. I love y'all. Good night.